Sorry, guys. Sorry, blah, blah,
No.
blah. Yawn. Poor Squally. Squally, I heard,
Okay.
I read, when I have something to say. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
Dana
Squally, I was
cuts her
gonna
off.
say, Squally said she felt like a bloated, tired frog earlier.
Oh
it was
my
really
God,
cute, yeah.
Squally. That's
Aw.
terrible. Oh my gosh.
Aw.
Okay, guys,
Okay,
we are
ready?
live on YouTube. Oh, we're live on YouTube right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Hey, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. How are you
Hey,
guys doing?
YouTube. Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. Yay. We love this.
So anyway, guys, we are streaming live on Zoom, and the folks that are joining us on Zoom are mainly our Design Club members. And you guys joining us on YouTube are, and sometimes we got guys on both sides, so that's really fun. We do have some news for you that we want to share. Megan, do you have that screenshot that I asked you to pull together?
I do. Yeah, let me grab that for you.
Let's tell them the news.
Okay.
Well, I don't even know.
Drum roll. I know.
You don't know the news? I don't know the news?
You guys know the news? We're gonna.
There's
news.
There's news.
It's gonna come.
Yeah. I know you
What's
guys are
happening?
anxiously awaiting.
Anybody
I'm
knew the-
trying to find it. Where did it go?
Oh, okay.
Oh, Megan.
Well, guys,
come on.
what's it?
Got it.
She got it. All right.
Okay, got it.
It was
got
worth
got
the
got
wait.
Yes. Boom, guys.
Oh, yay!
Now, guys, who wants to announce how much we raised last week?
I don't even know. How much did
Lisa
we
doesn't
end
know.
up with?
Well, last I checked, so guys, One Tree Planted is a charity that is near and dear to Lisa's heart. As if anyone who knows Lisa knows that she just adores trees. And One Tree Planted will plant one tree for every $1 donated. And our last YouTube session, we were able to donate $710. So that equals 710 trees that are now planted thanks to you guys.
Yay!
Yay!
So thank you so much. That was just incredible, guys. That really is really awesome.
That's amazing, guys. That is absolutely amazing. Think about that. Just all of us in this little family here were able to effecate having 710 trees planted. Just, in a coffee chat on a Sunday morning talking about design. I love this family. Yay! You guys rock. Oh, that's fantastic.
So guys, a few of you were mentioning in chat that they didn't know who I was and why I was interrupting Lisa so much. So I want to share a little bit about me with you guys. My name is Dana Morgan, and myself and Lisa have been business partners in interior design for about 15 years, I think. I don't know exactly what it is. I say 20. It's a long time.
It feels like forever. Yes.
And together we have done homes, we've built businesses, we just keep rolling it. And when COVID hit and we couldn't continue our one-on-one design business, we decided to start a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel turned into Design Club, and Design Club turned into Inner Circle, and Inner Circle turned into Next Step program. So we have an entire suite of programs, including the YouTube Lives, which we have all put together, and it hasn't been just me and Lisa, or Lisa and I. It's been Lisa, I, and Megan has been with us for the last 2 years, who is amazing. She's one of the most talented people on the universe, and the sweetest in the universe. It's true.
Thank you.
It's true.
We couldn't do it without you. And then we have Gaia out there, who is a design graduate. We have Squally, who is in her own right one of the most talented social media people and editors you'll ever meet. We have a lot of other people who are helping us just for the love today? Out of. Reed's not ever on Q&As. But we have Reed. Reed is our editor. And I was going to mention Jonathan V, who has been one of our moderators for, I think you've been doing this for a year, John, or Jonathan. And the funny thing is, we've never met him in person. We've talked to him all the time, but we've never met him in person. So we have issued a challenge to him today, and we wanted to see if he might want to come on come on with us and chat a little bit with us. So I think he might do that. So we have a few people from our design club that are on the Zoom chat who we're going to promote onto panelists and just chat with them for a little bit. And that's who I am. And that's why I interrupt Lisa so much, because we've been doing this a long time.
Oh,
I don't have anything else to say but that.
Okay.
I'm kind of the person that puts all these programs together, and then Lisa gets to go online and deliver it and get all the love.
No, it's true. Dana is more of the business end of things, and I've always been with my team, kind of the design end of things. So Dana is essential to the operations of
absolutely.
Well,
how we get all of this together. So, but we've worked together for a long time, so we interrupt each other all the time, which is
all the time
confusing, I'm sure, to people.
All day, every day. Right.
Thank you very much, by the way, Cindy. I just happened to see a little bit in the chat. And Cindy is a new member of our inner circle, and she's here on chat today too. So thank you very much. She's very excited about the team and what's going to be happening with Inner Circle. So that's really great.
I wanted to add one more thing. Guys, we're going to be expanding this Q&A, and we're going to start making it much more inclusive. We're going to just widen its breadth. And we want it to make it a little bit more podcast-like. And so we plan on having special guests and doing lots of fun games with related to design and all those type of things. So if you guys want to be involved with any of that type of stuff in the future, the way you'll be able to do that is that's another perk of being a member of the Design Club. So can someone throw it in chat, the Design Club, how they just go to our landing page? Because it's spelled Dezignclub.com. It's thedezignclub.com. So Gaia, can you throw that in chat? And we've got 100 people here who know it. So so do that. So guys, so why don't we talk about the first thing we're going to do? We're going to get to question and answers later, but the first thing we're going to do is what, Megan?
I would love to try a Stump Lisa challenge. If you're up for it now, Lisa, because this one is a challenge. So I really hope you've had your coffee, because I think I brought it today. At least I hope so. And so as always, guys, I am going to try and stump Lisa. She needs to name the design style, and I'm going to add a little bit more of a challenge. If you could name the time period of said design style. So I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh my God, Maggie. Oh my God.
That's
now,
beautiful.
This is a period room.
Yes.
Is this a real room? I mean,
that's what I was going to say. This is a period room, right? This is not somebody's made it up, right?
No, right. That's right.
What is the weird children's toys in the corner? Oh my gosh, that's a little key. Okay, so, I love this. Okay, so this is a very interesting space, because it is, I'd be willing to bet it is English, because the signature period that is screaming at me is sort of that kind of late Tudor, and I'm gonna go even further and say Jacobean, because the columns have that very specific Jacobite or Jacobean turn to them. And the floor, it looks like the floor is probably a stone condition. That heavy gridded wood ceiling, and of course the overall color palette, very Tudor. So
can you use Lisa? I'm sorry for interrupting. Can you annotate on that?
So
sure.
Sure. Can I? Annotate. Yes. Yay. Good.
We have people saying in chat that they think it's from a horror film and it looks scary. Yes.
No. This was actually a very let's see. So guys, if you think about this, we're talking late 1500s, early 1600s. Okay. So we're talking about, the Renaissance had already happened in Italy. And so, but it didn't really, the Renaissance really didn't affect England quite the same way that it did continental Europe. So they didn't really interpret it the same way because they had other stuff going on. But this shape, let me give you this. This is really the signal that says Jacobian to me, because if you look at these the kind of these draped swirls that are creating this column that replicates that sort of Jacobian leg style. So we're talking late 1500s, early 1600s, probably 1620, maybe probably somewhere in that range. Again, leaded windows. They were with a rosette period, or excuse me, a rosette symbol in the center. This is very Tudor. So you think about, War of the Roses, Henry VIII. This is all kind of that period. This sort of, these kind of heavy gridded ceilings. You can see them also done in Spain, kind of a little bit earlier in the late medieval period as well. And so this look was very sort of popular. It meant that the more wood you had that was carved and formal like this, the more important you were as a wealthy citizen. Because believe it or not, people, by the time you were hitting the Tudor period, you actually had what was called the middle class, which was the merchants, right? And so the merchants were all trying to gain respect and show their power. So, heavily carved with intricate details with acorns and leaves and things like that, which you also see, by the way, in the center of the columns. All of that is very kind of this period. So if you think about this,
Lisa?
Yes.
Lisa? So
yes.
You've had enough time to analyze it. What are you going to call this style? So we got a lot to go over today.
This is it. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it kind of late medieval or Jacobite, Jacobian, English, Tudor, late Tudor. That's where I'm going with it.
How about the creepy dolls? What about the creepy dolls?
No idea at all. I have no idea. That's what makes me think that either this is some sort of a display space, or maybe, maybe it's a set, which would be, is it a set?
No, it's not a set. It is a real space, but I believe those adorable little dolls are rendered in there. I think someone was really trying to amp up the creep factor of the space.
The creep factor?
yes.
Well, because it's really not creepy. It's really actually quite beautiful, but in a very heavy Tudor sort of late medieval period. Guys, this is coming out of Men in Armor. Okay, so this is kind of the spaces that they were sort of dealing with and things. So those sort of periods sort of kind of blended together, and England couldn't figure out if they owned Scotland or not. Yes, Dana.
Hi, I wanted to ask you, I wanted to say if you would mind me throwing something at you.
No, that was fine.
So she nailed the last challenge. Yes, please help me, Dana.
I gotta tell you, I loved that one. I loved that.
So mine's from a TV show that's out right now. I don't know if anyone has been seeing it. Can you name the television show that this place is the main set for? That's my question. Okay, so let me go share and see if you guys can get this.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
Looks like it's in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
that's
house?
It's a television show. Anybody? Wait, let's go ask on chat to see if anybody recognizes it. Anybody recognize this?
We've got
it is
guesses.
$1 million listing.
$1 million.
It's not.
I bet
that. It could be in that show. I don't know.
Selling Sunset.
Oh,
Cindy.
Okay,
Cindy,
let me tell you how much. Anybody have a guess on how much this house is worth?
Ooh, Demetra seems to know.
What do you think this house was worth?
$1 billion, 235 million.
I think it's right around between 230 and 250 million.
Rich
Oh my-
Can you
person
imagine?
rehab center.
Can you imagine?
No.
So Lisa, what's his style really quick? Can we just hit it real quick and talk about it?
Super contemporary. Yes,
Super contemporary.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of pushing hard on that very far end of the spectrum, contemporary
So,
wise. Is
Would
that a
this be
pool
something
over there on the
Jonathan would
side?
like? Jonathan,
Oh.
would you like this house?
I don't know. Would Jonathan like this house?
Would you guys actually live in? Oh no, Polly says, the twin says no. No. Would you like to live in it?
I like the little pool off to the side. I kind of like the couch, like, oops, I almost said couches. I like the sofas that are inside.
Let me go show you. Okay, I'm going to share with you a room inside the house, which is probably from when they were listing it or something. But this is part of the set. I don't think it's set decorated, but it's from the listing. So look at this.
Oh.
And this is the
interior
of one of the rooms. Yes,
Huh.
isn't it? For
It's
$235 million. And
No, is that the number?
That's the number. It's 235
Oh
million.
my gosh.
wow.
You know, here's the problem with something that is valued at 235 million. This is what you get inside because it's all about the dirt, right? Because it's taking up an entire hillside, probably somewhere in the Hollywood Hills. I don't know. Secondly, it's all about the toys, right? Because I counted 3 pools, all right, be stacked and, over on that one side. And then they had that huge garden with the sculpture and stuff. So there's lots of toys and gimmicks that are probably going into this. When you have something 235 million, you're breaking probably 50,000 square feet of a structure.
Wow.
Right. And, you've got bowling alleys and, stuff like that. But this is what you get in terms of the design statement. It's not that elevated.
Well,
No.
I see some mistakes here, and I was wondering if you could point them out, or we could ask you guys online.
Let's ask the crew.
Mistakes.
Let's ask the crew.
Yes.
What do you
Okay,
guys
we've got rug size too small, TV over the fireplace. Good job.
Yeah.
No statement. Oh, hey, that's very good, Jennifer. She says no statement. The statement is money and no taste.
Yeah.
Too many chairs
many
at the dining room
chairs.
table.
Yeah, and they're huge too. Like the table's being swallowed by that.
Oh, they're way
Yeah.
overscaled for that. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of meh.
Meh.
It's just so honestly, this could almost, did you say this was for sale?
Well, it's in a TV show currently right now, so I don't know if anyone's guessed which TV show it's from.
Oh.
And these are photographs, not of the TV set, but of, I think, probably a sale, because I don't think the set decorator would do this. This is ugly, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
just boring. It
Boring.
certainly doesn't speak to anything that would indicate that there's a set here. Do you know what I mean?
Lisa, Amy says in chat, they're clearly not members of the design club.
That's true.
I love that. Oh, I love
God,
that.
that's
That is
so funny.
actually true. Send a design club link to the TV show. Yes, ma'am. I love you guys. Oh my gosh.
All right.
It could have a
all right,
really
so-
spectacular view, and you're paying a couple
Yeah,
million in
sure.
LA just for a view.
But the furnishings is terrible.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. What is the show, Dana? Did
It's a
anybody get the show?
Oh, did anyone get the show? I'm looking on. I woke up for this ugly house. That's what Scrawley says.
Oh,
It's from a show
Demetra, wait. Demetra, I have to, wait. I just have to notice something. Okay, wait. I just have to draw this because I just saw Demetra's comment and she's absolutely right, which tells me that this is staged. That is a floor outlet, guys.
Mhm.
You always cover those
Yeah.
with your rugs. So,
Yeah.
and then, like I think you already mentioned it, that's on UA, unacceptable. All
And-
right. And then, yes, you're right.
Lisa-
The scale of this to that. What are you kidding? And they
And
had
what's
this
this?
big a fireplace.
I
and
wondered
they didn't
about
make
that.
What's going
that
on
something
with that?
interesting. So
Yeah.
I don't even know what
Lisa,
that is.
What's going on here?
Oh yeah, it's a random
Yeah.
coffee table in back of
It
the
just said-
sofa.
Anyway. All right.
This
Well,
is a hot mess.
it
It's a hot mess.
is what it is, but
Oh, ooh,
how
let me
do I
erase.
stop? I gotta erase too. How do I erase this?
I gotta
there we go.
erase all this. I know, right? Oh gosh.
Oh, there's it.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. Well, we're back. Enough of that. So anyway, so do we have any more things, and do we want to bring anybody online? Are we ready for that part? We've never done it before. Lisa,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
did I lose you?
No,
Sorry?
no, she's still here. But yeah, is Jonathan ready? Oh, and Dana, what was the show, by the way? I
Oh,
don't think we have
it's called Loot. Do you
Luke.
guys know it? Does anybody know
No.
Loot? It's with
I know it.
Myra Randolph. Is that her name? She's the comedian from Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah,
And
Maya
she
Rudolph.
plays
yeah.
a rich like tech divorcee, and it's all about I don't know. It's just
Yeah, she got the house in the divorce from the tech billionaire, and if I'm correct, right? Because there's been I saw like one or two of the shows, and so that room must be not part of the show, because what they've done in the show, either that or they've just done the smaller rooms on set, but I did see a shot of that pool area, I think. So yeah, so they did that they did their other rooms on the set, and they're much prettier. Her closet is fantastic in that show.
Oh my God. I didn't pick that because I didn't want to do stupid stuff, but
yes. So that's a
the
fun
house
one.
alone was the stupid stuff. Anyway, so Maggie, what are we going to do next?
Well, so we've got some options. I have more Stump Lisas, but I think we could hold off on that.
Want to do
we
a
can
question?
also get to, yeah, I think we should.
Let's do a couple of questions.
Let's
and
do
then
some
we'll
Q&As.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, good. Okay, because I got sent some very interesting ones here. Let's see. Now, what do I do to do this? I'm gonna pop you guys over here, and all right. Let me go to this. All right, and get some. Oops. I don't. Oh, sorry. No. Okay, wait. Sorry guys, having a little technical difficulty.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, share screen. Here we go. All right. So this, can you guys see that? Because I've lost my green thing now. This is coming into us from Amy Rodriguez, and Amy has just let's see, she has just purchased this home. So these, I'm assuming, Amy, and you can confirm if you're here, are the sales pictures, because sales pictures always look a little bit out of proportion because they always shoot them with a fisheye. And so I'm sure this is not 8 feet long like it looks like it is. And then I've got this picture of the kitchen as well. And Amy's question was pertaining to she's trying to make she's trying to make the space feel bigger. And my question to you, Amy, would be, it's showing as already very light, but you could take the floor a little bit darker, and it looks like you replace it. It looks like this is carpet that's existing now, and you want to replace it with LVP, or do you want to replace it with like engineered wood? If you're in the chat, let me know, because I definitely agree that you should get rid of the carpet. That's a little funky looking, and so LVP, you could do LVP. I think that I'm looking at what's going on in the kitchen. Oh, she may be wanting to consider LVP because the kitchen and the kind of long great room. This looks like this might either be a townhouse.
Lisa?
Yes.
Lisa, so Amy is in chat, and she's answered you a few times here.
Oh,
she says she has kids.
Yeah,
she says, I have kids, a dog, and so maybe LVP ?
Yeah, probably LVP or a high performance engineered woods. And you can find some of those. Take a look. Actually, where are you? Oh, you are up NorCal. Okay. So there is near you a company that distributes a lot of different types of flooring. Okay. And I want you to check them out. Maggie, do we have the link to ProSource that you can pop in? Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm going to pop it into the chat. There's a place called ProSource that has a lot of different options, both in the engineered wood and in the LVP thing. The reason I'm thinking twice about the LVP is not because it's not good looking, because it is, and it does perform, which is great, but not all of the LVPs are great for water areas. So it's not a total solve necessarily if that's what you're looking for the kitchen or for just the regular area. But I'm assuming this is a townhome, and I believe this has stairs. And so an engineered wood solve might be better on your stairs than LVP because they have to do a specialty nosing for that looks a little unusual. Now, here's what you want to be looking for if you're looking for an engineered wood with kids and dogs is you want to look for one that's performance oriented. You want to look for an engineered wood one that has a thick minimum of 1/4 inch veneer on the top face. Okay. And then on top of that, if you can find something that is called fumed or smoked veneer, what is lovely about that product, okay, is that it is colored all the way through the veneer. And there are a couple of vendors up there, Du Chateau, excuse me. Oh gosh, okay. Either Gaia or Maggie, I think we have Du Chateau, a link to some of their products that I've used a lot in years past, and they have what's called German oak, which is super hard and it's smoked. So you should take a look at that as an option. It's a little pricier than some of the LVPs, although some of the LVPs are very expensive. So, they kind of almost go neck and neck depending upon kind of the quality options on what you're looking at. But I would definitely consider taking the floor darker. Now, in the range of light, medium, and dark, okay, you do not want that floor super dark, okay, because you have what appears to be, like I said, is it a townhome? Because the idea of it is that you want to press the floor surface down and keep the walls and ceiling super light and kind of monotone to sort of explode them out above the flooring. So I'd go to a mid-tone on the flooring, whether or not you decide on LVP or the engineered wood. And I'd keep your cabinets in the kitchen light. Don't know if you're thinking about changing out the dark countertops. They have that a little bit of that zipper or not zipper, belt feel to it. But you could keep them. It just kind of depends. If they're definitely like a narrow assoluto or something like that, you're going to want to look at a floor that has a little bit of a grayish undernote with maybe some notes of charcoal. So I would love that one. Why don't you keep us posted here in the Q&A with what you're selecting? And I hope this helps.
We actually have a question in chat. Amy mentioned that this is a 2-story reverse living. And Heidi was wondering, Lisa, could you tell us what does reverse living mean?
Yeah, I'd like to know that.
Yeah. Or maybe Amy, could you tell us?
I was going to say,
yeah, someone tell us.
Yeah. So my interpretation of reverse living is going from a larger space to a smaller space, but I might be wrong. What does Amy say?
Yeah, let's ask you guys, and we'll pretend that we knew all along. Living upstairs,
bedroom
Yep, that's what I thought so.
downstairs. Oh,
Ah,
okay.
yes. Okay.
It's
So it
kind
is
of
that
a-
stacked level. Yes.
Kind of
Okay.
a real estate. It's kind of a real estate term.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
okay.
it is more of a real estate, like a
Yeah,
master on
yeah,
the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as much a designer jargon than it is real estate jargon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Good. I was gonna say I'm not super familiar with it. So
So Maggie, my
Yes.
question is, do you want to get our friend Jonathan? Jonathan, you want to come on
I
with us?
do. I would love for Jonathan to come on. Are you ready, Jonathan? Oh, he's ready.
Jonathan, I know, but is he ready or no?
He says sure. Sure.
oh,
Okay.
let me stop sharing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I am so excited. Actually, I'm so
Where
excited
is
to finally meet
Jonathan
you,
coming
Jonathan.
on? Oh,
There
very
he
good.
is.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's a big. Oh, there he
I've
is.
been promoted. This is amazing. Hello, everyone.
Hey. Oh my gosh. It's so nice to
Jonathan,
meet you.
and you are wearing your signature color, I notice.
Looking good.
I'm glad you noticed.
Oh, this is so
Jonathan
exciting.
has been with us since day one, and
He
we have
is an
come to love him
OG.
as part of our family. And we talk to him all the time on email and all through chats and things, but we've never had him one-on-one like this before.
This
Very
is
cool.
great.
Oh, I'm green all the way. I love that.
Green all
comment.
the way. Yep, people are loving the green for sure. Well, we
Yeah,
have a challenge, actually. If Jonathan, if you're open to it, Lisa will help you out. But I would love to show you a space
She
and
doesn't
see
need
if
any
you
help
could
from
tell us.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Well, we'll see. Let's see if you can name the design style, and we would love your commentary and perhaps anything that you would do differently in the space. Let
Ooh.
me share my screen. And here it is.
Oh, let me get that a little bit bigger. Let's take a look at
Can you make-
that.
What do you
I'll
think?
let's see.
Well, the designer, I mean,
Yeah,
at
what do you
least they
think?
tried.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
definitely intentional, right?
I
Hey,
like the construction of some of these things, but they're a little bit yeah, that's interesting.
know.
I'm seeing a little bit of that Memphis influence that I really like with the sort of curvaceous tubular kind of looks of some of the features. I like that sort of velvet sheen of the couch, which I'm calling a couch. I
Uh-oh.
like
I'll forgive you. Inside joke, guys. Sorry.
I'm not sure I'm into the whole toadstool ottomans or into the pseudo
Yeah.
herringbone rug.
They look
but
like
yeah,
mushrooms.
It's definitely
do.
giving me a little bit more of that sort of like pre-modern era kind of vibe, but I don't know. It's tough to pinpoint. I'd love some
It
feedback
is.
from the
Yeah. What do you think,
chat if
Lisa?
anybody has any thoughts.
Oh
Lisa,
yeah,
what
in
do you
chat.
think?
Yeah.
I'm going to annotate. Okay.
Wait,
You
Uh-oh.
nailed it, Jonathan, on the kind of Memphis. All right. So this is very sort of Memphis, late 70s, early 80s, very specific time frame that was kind of a reprisal school on some things. But then it starts to get confusing, and you nailed it. This is kind of it's sort of a toadstool style thing, and it doesn't really fit because it's not as clean and it's not as strong a regular statement as this is, right? So this is all very good. This is actually very interesting. I kind of love this. It's not Memphis, but it sort of harkens to some of the deconstructionist stuff, which I think is very groovy. And then it has kind of this round curve. This is an absolute classic from the 70s B&B Italia piece with the chrome and kind of the soft velvet in there. This piece is its own storyline, okay, which both in color isn't repeated anywhere. All right, so you have no call and repeat on any of this statement. And as the crushed velvet, it's a kind of a nice texture play against this Memphis, which is great. I just am not comfortable with the detailing setting up against this. I would have done something much quieter, and I would not have paired this with these guys, because these guys are actually the statement in the room. This plays as a secondary, so that's kind of good. It's almost textural. This is, I didn't know what to do, so I stuck something boring up here. This is very nice and clean because it sort of begins to make a statement about this fireplace and all the rest of it. Looks like the room's a tad cool of a white. But other than that, so, I agree with you. It was actually intentional and it was a good effort. I think, sometimes I look at these rooms and I go, how much was the designer overruled by the client? Because sometimes that's exactly what happens, guys, is that the designer has this strong, lovely statement happening and this, right? And then the client goes, yeah, no, but I really want to use my old sofa. And so, and you can't control it, right? You just end up with this stuff. So good call. Yeah.
But wouldn't that kind of happen when there isn't a lot of communication and language between the designer and the client? Like, if it's to the point where, I've got all of these items and I'm going to put them in the design, regardless of whether the designer likes them or not, maybe they need to have a couple more conversations before they start actually building the space.
That's exactly right. Which tells me that what the designer missed in their step in terms of their programming is they missed asking the client, do you have existing inventory that we will be using? And what are those parameters? You have to tell me that. So you're absolutely right. That's a miss, on whatever. And, this was probably somebody major famous out of Art Digest.
No, it wasn't. No worries. No worries. Did you notice?
It's okay.
Lisa,
No one in Art Digest is safe from the critiques of this design club.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You're right. That's true. That's absolutely true. So,
hey, Lisa, I was looking at that space and I was thinking to myself, the bones are great for a modern contemporary space. I mean, really what's kind of mucking it up for me is just all this sort of mishmash of furniture. It could be so cool, that space, because I like the fireplace. I like the kind of the bones of this general space, but I mean, it feels like a big mess to me. So to me, I would not.
And not to mention, go ahead. Sorry.
I would not want to live in that space. And I was wondering if you could just ask the group, you guys, would you want to live in that space? I mean, would that be something you go, yeah, this is for me? Not that there's a right or wrong. This is all subjective and opinions, but 1 for yes and 2 for no. Throw it in chat and let us see kind of what the group is thinking.
Yeah,
honestly, that
lots of
futon or daybed or whatever it is, it just looks. You can see the lumps from here. This would be a total Princess and the Pea moment. Like, I've seen those kinds of things in garage sales, and they have all kinds of mold that you cannot see from the front. So
yes, oh yes, well, because this is likely to be a vintage piece. I mean, this is likely to be from like the mid-70s. And so, by the time they had the B&B Italia has always been fabulous and on point, both B&B Italia and, oh God, what's the French one? Roche-Beaubois, yeah. They're always like on point with very specific things for the period, right? But they sort of deliver that fashion statement around design, but then their pieces age as the fashions move on, right? And things. It's interesting. There's a lot of Maria Savarino Milagro interiors. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, oops, sorry, Maria. I was going to say there's a lot of people that don't even really know about Memphis. And maybe I should do a thing on them at one point, because Memphis is sort of an under viewed movement within the modern and the contemporary period.
Yes.
Which has some very interesting, it has some very interesting people that were involved with Memphis, and it has some very interesting ideas around it, you know, sitting right up against that sort of deconstructionist period. It was all kind of like tangled up together. So Memphis were a bunch of Italians, which is really kind of funny. But they named themselves after Memphis because one of the Italian people was really into Southern music, Southern American music.
Yes,
For me, it's me. Yeah, so what I was going to say is, do you have another one, Megan? This is fun.
I actually do. And I have a feeling Jonathan's going to.
Wait, don't do that. Let's see. Want to pull someone else in?
Yeah.
And see if I know we have people.
Wait, do we have somebody else?
Well, raise your hands, guys, if you'd like to come on camera. I'm just going to pick whoever. You got to raise it again if you did once before. I don't see any hands raised.
Now they're scared. They don't want to be challenged. Like, they blame you.
After I was grilled in front of.
You were grilled.
Don't be scared. Come on. You're in a safe space here.
Nailed it though. Yeah.
All right. Well,
no one wants to follow you, Jonathan. No one wants to follow Jonathan. Okay.
Wally goes, bye, Twin. Twin was too knowledgeable.
I got voted off the island apparently.
Yeah. Lisa on YouTube. Lisa, if you're a Design Club member, we can bring you on. But I can't bring you on from YouTube. So if you're on Zoom and raise your hand in Zoom, then I can bring you on because of the way technology is. But
okay,
maybe next time.
Gone. So let's try.
Wait,
Amy Rodriguez.
We got someone. No, we did get somebody that raised their hands. Oh, Amy.
And
Want to bring Amy
was the Q&A we just did. So,
right. Want to bring Amy
on this year?
Yeah, sure. Let's bring Amy in. Why not?
Okay.
This is fun.
It's like, I feel like Monty Hall, bringing people out from the audience, right?
Uh-huh.
And door number one.
Door number
dating
right,
right, guys.
Yeah.
Amy is
There's probably a few people on here that don't know Monty Hall.
Amy's also an Inner Circle client of ours.
Hi,
Amy.
Hi.
It's fun.
Thanks for being brave.
Okay, I'm really bad. I didn't know Memphis was like a style. I thought you were all talking about Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or Memphis, Egypt, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. No, Memphis was. Well, let's see if we can stump Amy, and I'm gonna show her Memphis real quick.
Okay, here's all your Design Club and Inner Circle knowledge is coming to bear. Who's doing the sharing? Is it Megan?
Were you going to share something, Lisa, before I did?
No, you're going to. I'm just gonna grab something.
So this is actually, it's not of a space, but it's of an iconic piece of furniture. And so if you could name the furniture piece, that would be amazing.
Oh,
here it is.
You like to do
I
the
want to
furniture
see.
pieces.
I do.
Woo!
Whoa.
Love that chair.
Oh
my
Can I start?
Is
Yeah.
I know the designer.
It's Virgin America.
Oh my God.
What?
No,
It's Virgin America style.
okay, I'll go with data. I'm so bad with names, but is it like a 70s, like a retro?
It is retro.
It's a names piece, isn't it?
Is it?
I'm not saying. I don't know.
So I'm not gonna say what it's called, but it's think of the shape as a clue.
Mm-hmm.
And
don't read the chat because we got a lot of people.
No.
I
mean,
Too late.
Okay, that's okay.
Lisa, do you know what this is?
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. I want to say like Spock.
Spock.
Yes.
Oh, it's kind of fun. That's kind of the right.
Yeah.
Yes,
But Lisa, why don't we ask them what year do you think that this chair came out in? Like, what's the time frame? That would be a good question.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good question.
I'm gonna say late 60s, maybe.
Okay.
late 60s.
Okay.
Okay.
John,
What do you,
okay.
what do you think, John?
I was gonna go sort of modern era too, so I'm thinking, I don't know though. Yeah, I would say 60s. I would say 60s as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, sometimes like the early times, like the 20s kind of throw something out that's
Oh, you
like,
guys are so
true.
good.
Right?
Oh my
Mhm,
gosh.
mhm.
yeah.
You guys
You-
are so smart. I am
Yep.
so impressed with you. So
The
Okay,
bottom
well,
of
you
it
go,
kind of
please.
throws me off because that's not really, you know, an early time bottom. I don't know, like the legs, right?
good, Amy. All right, good. You both are circling the same spot, right?
Mhm.
Which is right. So this is known as the egg chair. And the egg chair looks very much like another very iconic piece. They're both produced by Knoll now. The original, excuse me, the original is both produced by Knoll. I want to say, now I'm not exactly sure on the exact year, but the womb chair and the egg chair, I want to say are very early 50s. Would I be right?
You are, it's actually later 50s, but it was, the
Later
egg chair was
50s.
this,
Okay.
but you guys are so close, but 1958. And it makes
58,
sense that like we would
yes,
think 60s
yes.
because it was in the homes throughout the 60s. Very, very popular share.
Right.
So-
Yes.
Oh, I guess the
yes.
60s had a
Yes.
little bit more like, because just remembering your mid-century modern video that you did, Lisa,
Yes.
you were saying that in the 60s, it kind of got a little bit more spacey in the design style rather than
Mhm.
that sort of like warm feeling that the earlier MCM had.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Mhm.
Exactly. So, you know, when we think about the Eames chair, right? The Eames chair was super early. It was actually 48, something like that, 47. Excuse me. And so this, you know, they saw the Eames, right? And they went, oh, what else can we do that creates that curvilinear base and shape to that and create that? And so both the egg and the womb chair, which I actually don't have a picture of at the moment, but the womb chair also kind of came out of that sort of, how can we get those curvilinear shapes and sort of make them a little hipper? Because from 48 to late 50s or mid 50s to late 50s, you know, they're still moving through that kind of space age vibe, right? And so the more they can add that kind of space age zoom to it, the more, and so that's why you have that little starburst of a base, right? Because that reference point is sort of moving into that space age period, which is firmly the 50s. And the thing that was a little misleading about that one is that they weren't originally done in a camel leather. They were they? Wait, were they?
I don't.
No, they
don't
were
think so.
done. No, they were originally done by oh God. They were originally done in a Mexican wool boucle,
Mhm.
if I remember correctly, because it was the only
Yeah.
thing they
Like
could
this.
figure out. Yes. Okay.
This
That's
is
the
the womb
classic
chair.
one.
Yep. Mhm.
And that's covered in this lovely sort of wool boucle. And it's because they created this shape out of these chairs, but then they didn't have fabrics that could adhere to the shape of the frame and hold themselves to it. So it was this kind of this technological solve they had to create, because here they created this wonderful chair, but they needed to figure out how to do that. Now the Eames chair didn't need that. It could be leather because the whole back of it is the exposed bent veneer, right? But so the leather is like a regular cushion and you could use a lot of different materials on it. But this had to have fabric that had give to it. Now they've figured out ways to like make leather adhere to it and things like that. So I think it was an originalist. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have one. I just found a chair that I wanted to throw it at everybody since we're doing chairs. Do you mind?
Wait. Can I just show everybody real quick one thing? Which is, I wanted to just show, since we were talking about Memphis, this is a classic collection of what the Memphis period produced. Ettore Sottsass was the Italian that
God.
started the Memphis period. And this is like 1979, 1980, something like that, right?
Mhm.
And so these were actually pieces that were created, furnishings pieces that were created by what was called the Memphis Group, which was a series of Italian architects that all kind of got together, obviously smoked a little weed, and then decided to build some furniture. Yes, Dana.
It's fun.
I wanted to say that it reminds me of Pee-wee's Playhouse, right?
Totally.
That looks like the set
yes,
of that TV
it really
show.
does. Yeah, I
And
remember
that
that.
was late 80s, right? That was late
Mhm.
80s.
That's
So,
right.
well, so Pee Wee's Playhouse was late 80s, and he utilized some of this stuff in there because what's happening here is you have what makes up the idea around the Memphis movement is sort of the idea of playful deconstructionism. That's really where this goes. So that's why Pee Wee's Playhouse was able to bring it in, right?
Mhm.
And you kind of look at these things and you go, I can see expressed form, but I'm going to have fun with it. This is a leg, but it's actually a ball. Yes.
Mhm.
I was wondering if I could show you my chair.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But several people were asking about Memphis, and I thought, oh, I'm going to grab that.
There's
So,
Okay,
Jonathan.
So this is a little bit of a Stump Lisa thing. So,
Oh,
or no,
okay.
or really stump the panel. So let's let our guests start and see if they want to go for a shot.
I
of it.
love this. This is so great.
Ooh, love this.
Oh,
What do you think? I have no
Oh.
idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, I do know what it is because I looked it up, but I don't really know what this is.
I've seen these chairs, actually. There's in one of the buildings that they built for the Olympics in Vancouver, there's they did an entire wood themed building. And one of the atria that you enter when you walk into the building has these chairs in it. Or at least some sort of replica thereof. I think I like the sort of the minimalist statement of them and that sort of angular zigzag.
What?
That's
Go
the
ahead,
clue right
Megan.
there. That's right. Like guys, if you were to describe this chair, like, and you didn't know the name, what would you call it? It's a what kind of chair? Exactly, Squally. Yes, very good. It's the
Yeah.
zigzag chair. That's literally what it's called.
I
I
thought the LZ chair because there's like an
L-
L and
yes.
then there's a Z. Like
Yes.
It does look like
yes,
that.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yes.
Well,
yes.
zigzag
It's
chair.
I'm Canadian, so it's a Z. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Z.
Yes,
Right,
the LZ
exactly,
chair.
exactly.
Love that. Yeah.
But
But yeah,
look
amazing.
at the date,
19
guys. Look at the
Yeah.
date.
Wow.
1934.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Yep.
believe that?
I
Isn't
love
that
that.
amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mhm.
Simply 4 pieces of wood and creates that incredibly striking silhouette. Now, why was he able to do that? Because by 34, you had the casino. Yeah, by 34, you had technology that allowed them to, what you can't really see here. Oh, let me kind of like show this. This is actually what's called finished plywood. Okay.
Yeah,
And
you
so
can see that.
the technology around heat pressuring thin strips of or thin pieces of wood together into what's called now plywood, and it's a very common material, was very new in the 30s. Okay, because it's a steam process and pressure. So what happens though is plywood, if this was cut out of regular wood, this would not hold this shape. But plywood, because it changes, because when you adhere pieces of wood together in different directions, you vastly expand the tensile strength on it. So that is what gives you the ability to have this cantilevered weight back here with nothing but this little tiny bit of support right there at the front. And that support is also
But-
helping to keep this line together. So it's an astounding chair. It's an astounding chair.
Mhm.
And I actually did not know the date on it. I was like, oh God, I'm gonna hope
Lisa,
they
I have
don't
a
ask
I have a
me.
question for you. I don't understand how they supported this, the back to this seat. I get this, right? We all can see this piece, right? This little
Yes, yes.
that little piece of wood, right? That's obviously holding the weight. I don't see that on the inside. I mean, what did they
It's
do?
not
Just tape?
there. It's
Did they
not
just take
there.
bolts in like that? I mean, I don't know that would have been able to hold someone's weight.
No, you know what? We've now just written over the top, so I would have to see. Let me see if I can erase. Oh, I can't erase yours.
Well, I can erase mine.
Okay,
There.
I can tell you how now. So this is how they did it, which is this piece of plywood sits on this piece.
Yeah.
So it's resting on this piece, which means that all of the adhesion here at this point is being supported by this piece here. So you have a heavy duty lock going all the
Yeah.
way across there with that adhesion.
I can
It's
show you a
probably
picture
not
of
going to
that,
hold
yeah.
a 300-pound guy. Let's just be real, guys.
Oh, is
uh,
that how it's made?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like she said,
Queen
it's
for the
locked,
win again.
locked together. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Lisa said, like a dovetail
Wally
lock.
was
Yep.
saying that it was dovetailed, so
yes,
totally.
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Amy,
It's still
Amy,
being-
does Amy like this chair?
I love
What do you
it.
think? Huh?
Yeah,
It's-
I do. I love it. I don't know that I would have it in my house, but
Yeah.
I like it's easy on the eyes. I like it.
Mhm. Mhm.
It
Yeah, I do
has
too.
that lovely simplicity that was happening early in the 19th century. Yeah, it does. It does. It has a just, we're stripping everything except structure away,
So Lisa, I want to ask Amy, what is in your background? I see these lights and I'm
Oh,
trying to figure out what is going on back there.
Okay, so I'm currently in Dallas moving my daughter into her apartment for college. So
Okay.
that is her reading nook.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we've had so much fun moving her in. So we got hooks for everything, book bags and coats and hats.
Love
We've
that.
had so much fun. Yeah.
So Amy,
Oh, that's so fun.
That's her
when did
reading
you
nook.
when did you join the design club?
I joined and then
I think
had
you were a
to-
founding member, right?
Yes. I joined originally and then I had to cancel, but now I'm back. So
Yay.
yes.
And Jonathan, because I think we have two OGs with us. That's what I'm saying. I think
Mhm.
both Jonathan and Amy.
Oh,
It takes a
right
couple
on.
of-
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, I
I
love
know.
that.
But I've been watching you, Lisa, for 2 years. Like I've just learned so much from you. And so I was so excited when you started the design club. Yeah, it's been really fun.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Amy. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. I think we have a lot of fun in there.
Yes.
And Megan and I just literally wake up every day and go, "Ooh, we should add this. Ooh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh,
You
this
should-
is
oh,
happening." So
Literally, our to-do list is so long. Like which I love. I love it. We keep adding to it, and so yeah, the design club content will just never end. It's like
It's
we've got
true.
you covered for the next 30 years.
it's really
Right.
true. And you guys need to keep telling us things you want. That's the
Yes.
other thing too, because I can talk about design all day long, but if you guys want to know specific things like, whatever it is, you need to let us know because we'll put some stuff in that club that will address that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and
So,
the
Lisa-
members are so great. Lois and Demetra, I just have to say thank you. They are amazing. And helping. So yeah, I mean, even the members, we really are one big family. And
It's true.
everyone is so kind and I just love it. Yes.
No,
Yeah.
it's true.
So good.
Sometimes I pop into the lounge where people have posted questions kind of like, sometimes
That's
in Q&A
right.
as well. And
Yeah.
I am astonished by the breadth of knowledge of the answers of the
Too.
people that are on there. I mean, some of these posts have like 19 responses from people in the club. And we have a couple thousand people in there, right? And so that is just an amazing thing because these people just keep adding, they just keep like going back in and, giving everybody kind of impact, info. They share resources. It's incredible. As you know, Jonathan, we're always trying to get more info for Canadians and our European folks, and of course Australia too. But we're always trying to like plug all those resources in. And what's great is that because there are so many people all over the world that are part of the club, they can pop in and say, "Hey, I've got this." Like somebody just wrote wrote in the other day and said that they're a designer in South Africa. And so she's
Well, they have beautiful
working-
design there.
Yeah, yeah. And so
Yes, they do.
so I said, why don't you nominate yourself for Lisa's list? Because if we've got a member, we're gonna do that. We're gonna send them through to you. So anyway.
Awesome. Well, that was I love that share, Dana. Thank you for that. And thank you guys for joining
All right,
us.
Megan, what are
Jonathan
we
and
doing
Amy,
next?
it's so amazing. But next up, I think we should do another Q&A because we've got a few, and I know that they are members with burning questions. So I don't want them to miss it. Yeah.
You guys can stay on as panelists if you want to, or leave, whatever you want to do, and we can come back to you, whatever you want. Lisa, you want to do the next question?
Yes, absolutely. All right, great. The next question came from, okay, let's see. Jane. Okay, so all right, let me get this happening. Oop, nope, that's not how that happens. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, tech alert. Okay, there we go. Okay, sure. Okay, so now you guys can see this, and this was sent in to me by Jane Arnold, and basically it looks like she's building a brand new home, and she's desperately trying to figure out the world of kind of exterior finishes, right? So she's given us an elevation, which is helpful. And then she's shown us, excuse me, I don't know if this is, it looks like this is probably the material that she's looking at for the roof. I don't know if there are other colors. I don't know if this is what the builder is providing you. And then she also sent in this. And so it's kind of a little bit of a note around made body being alabaster, north facing. So this is good. She's looking at some color directions. I'm not quite sure where Resolute falls in all of that. But then she like leaps over and throws in some interior stuff. So I'm gonna say, Jane, let's go back for a second and take a breath, because someone who is involved in a brand new construction, you are absolutely the right candidate if you wanted to go into Inner Circle, because this is just the beginning, honey, of how many questions you are going to have to find an answer. And so one of the things that I can say is it looks to me like there's some information, but not all the information provided here. So let me annotate. And what I mean by that is, and we can, and that's the deal, is that with Inner Circle, we could really shepherd you all the way through kind of, some of these big decisions. Don't know what the material is going to be for the garage. Okay, is that a painted finish or is that wood? This looks like it's like regular siding, which is fine. This looks like the double layer shingle, which you sent me a photograph of, but I'm not sure if that's the color that you have to use or that's a color that you're looking at and considering. I'm not even sure where you are located geographically. That also has some reference points. It looks like you might be East Coast or Midwest.
It's Missouri.
What's the materials on the shutters? Why do you have this semi-Doric column happening on what is essentially farmhouse style? That's a curiosity to me. Don't know if that's changeable or not, but what is that material? And then is there any styling or detailing around your front door? Those are all things that we would need to consider when we look at what an exterior palette is. Oops, sorry. Also, I don't see any kind of I don't see any kind of what's called a I don't see the oh gosh, what is happening here? I'm just trying to erase here. Okay. Oh, and I lost everything. Okay, wait, let me go back. Oh, there we go. Okay. So so I don't know really if there's any kind of what's called a hip band of some sort. Would it all be siding straight down to the ground? There's a lot of these kinds of questions that would need to be answered before we could kind of like lay out a full palette detail. And then the other thing too that's important to think about is that when you're thinking about exterior overall palettes, you approach it just like you would with an interior palette. So you are talking about having a light box, you're talking about looking at all the materials placed together, because this is a fine looking material, but it's isolated, and it's actually shown right here in this image with brick. So I'm not quite sure how this typically lays out with siding, if that is what's siding on there. And then this is a problem because it looks like that might have been photographed. I'm not sure where. I don't know whether or not you are using a light with it. There's several options on grays. Then there's a little bit of tricorn black. Oh, she's indicating that for the shutter. But then there's a main body is alabaster, and it's all Sherwin-Williams paint. Front is north facing. Okay, that's helpful. Front door resolute blue. Ooh, not sure why. Because if you're doing tricorn black on your shutters, you might want to have something that's a little bit more grounded than the resolute blue. And
you want to go darker with that front door also? Would you want that to be recessive?
Well, it depends upon the style statement that she's really looking to communicate, because that little column that's out front is a little confusing. I'm not quite sure if that's dressing that up. And this goes back to, you've also got these little vented insets and this little half round detail over here, which is more formal typically than siding and shutters. So there's a kind of a mixed message going on with the face. And what would help me more is if you could gather these materials together, okay, and put them all in kind of a kind of like an exterior image, like photograph together or something along those lines. Megan, like Christie's exterior photograph, that would be a good one. Yes, Dana?
I was going to say, is this a Jan Arnold's house? Is that her name? Because she's in chat. Someone's saying
she's
in
chat.
Ozarks.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, so Jane, is it a possibility that you can get your hands on some of these materials and put them together in a photograph, and we can kind of talk about that? Because in isolation, it's a very hard selection to make. What you need to do is you need to understand kind of how they all speak together in more than just chips, because as we know, when you're doing color selections for interiors, you definitely need to be looking at using your rule of 3 study, okay? And that's even more the case when you're looking at exterior colors, because exterior colors, there's a heck of a lot more of them typically than there will be, for interior overall colors.
Can I have a sort of a Dana moment and ask a question from the peanut gallery? So I just got a Q&A from Yannick, who is asking if there could be some sort of, and maybe Megan, this, if there are any sort of resources on trims and moldings, if we could do some sort of deep dive into that.
It is on the list for sure. But no, that's a fantastic idea.
Okay, I accepted that suggestion on your behalf, just assuming that.
Thank you.
Now that I'm a panelist,
it's a good one.
that authority. So.
You do.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
The house build. Oh, Jess. Yeah, there she is. Okay, I just saw your thing, Jan. Sorry, this house is in the very beginning stage. Oh, yes, that's fantastic, because this is where you can make kind of tweaky decisions and things like that. And if you haven't already started construction, it costs almost nothing to change if you need to change something like that. So I'm not sure if you have the possibility or the capabilities of kind of putting all of this imagery together. Maggie, do you have that picture from Christy? Super. Can you share screen on that one?
I will. Let me grab it.
Okay, great. Because this will give you an idea of how we look in Inner Circle at exterior spaces. And Jen, where are you located? I'm going to stop sharing for a second.
Wasn't Jen located in Mississippi? Didn't we establish that?
I think it was
Yeah, Missouri.
Missouri. M.O.
I think it was MO. Okay. It says
MO.
MS on the thing.
Is that
Oh.
Missouri? Yes.
In the
okay.
Ozarks.
In the Ozarks. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Okay.
Let me
Okay.
and I have that image for you, Lisa.
Okay, great. Because this will give you an idea. Yes. Now, it does not have to be labeled. This works a lot in kind of Canva and programs like that. But what's important here is that you've got all of your exterior finishes pulled together and then labeled. So you want to buy a piece of the shingle, right? You want to get your paint people to do drawdowns or brush outs so that you have big pieces to work with, okay? And get some of those to handle. What are your hard surface materials? Like what's your sidewalk? What's the base of the building if it's not going to go straight down? Any vegetation that you might be planning, grab a little piece of green sprig or something like that so that we know kind of what that is. She's got some paint. She's also got some specialty, panels, but you could add kind of like the color for your shutter in here and like the color for the front door or something like that. Now she has stained siding. I don't know if your siding is going to be wood or if it's like hardy board. And if it is hardy board, then it's likely to be painted as opposed to stained. So that kind of information, if you could pull something like that together, that's the kind of thing that we do in Inner Circle. But if you wanted to do it for a Q&A, you could pop that together for me.
Perfect.
Yes. Oh, okay. Do you think
You
she
have
okay.
it. You start reading chat, I think.
So, oh yeah. No, I got lost on chat. So good.
I don't know. Well, anyway.
And I can tell you, Jan, it's very, very, there's so much to consider when you're starting to do an exterior palette and then the interior palette. And one thing I will say is that it looks like you tried to think about how you carry the exterior palette forward into the interiors, which is a really good thing to understand. But I don't have any idea about kind of where what the interior looks like, where the interior materials need to go. And you need to build an interior palette just like you build an exterior palette, which is you have to start with all of your hard materials, what's your flooring, what's your stone materials, what's your cabinet selections, if they're pre-finished versus painted. Those are things that you can only pick a few selections from. Maybe there's a fireplace, looks like there's a chimney there. And those kinds of things tend to dictate what will be then eventually your overall color palette and your body colors and things like that. So those can be chosen last because that first set of finishes that you need to select needs to be handled first. Okay, good, Jan. All right, well, I hope I see more of this in here and we can kind of like move you through it a little bit.
Hey, can we have spend just a second, because I've had a couple of questions about Inner Circle, because people on YouTube don't really know what that's all about. Can you just, Megan, would you mind just giving them, you're way better than me, at like a few seconds on what it is?
Yeah, guys. So the Inner Circle, whether you're working on a new build like Jan, a remodel, or just want to give your space like a fresh update, it's very easy to get overwhelmed by all of the decisions you're going to have to make, especially when those decisions can lead to expensive mistakes, which I have done over and over and over again. Well, the Inner Circle is here to help. It's an 8-session live interior design coaching program that will help you with your project, no matter how big or small. And you'll be able to work with the Lisa Holt, who will give you the advice you need and support you need to get that job done right. And guys, space is really limited with these sessions, so they fill up super fast. And I know that we still have a few seats left for August. The August session begins August 28th. So if that's something you're interested in, send an email probably right now to info@lisaholtinnercircle.com, and we'll provide you with the specific session dates, pricing, and answer any other questions you have. But definitely don't delay. And I'll put that, or if Gaia can, if she can hear me, put that email in chat. Again, it's info@lisaholtinnercircle.com.
Yeah. And Megan, I got to agree with you. We only have a couple more for the year. And August is.
You mean
is
programs? You mean
a couple more programs, right, for the year. August is one of the two. So if you are thinking about anything like this, you need to at least get your name in front of us so that we can talk to you.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at August. It's the end of August. We call it August, but it really is a September, October program.
Yes. Yeah. It starts 8/28 and ends on October 23rd. And then the last one starts on October 1st and goes through mid-November. And then that's it. Everybody else. And then we're all doing, holidays and stuff like that. So yeah. So gosh, I can't believe we've flown through this year so fast. Does that
Thanks,
feel
Twin,
like
for
that?
fixing the date format for our European and Australian members.
I see that. Yeah. Thanks, Quali. 28
Yes, that's right.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. That's right. That's very true. So now I have a couple more Q&As that actually came in yesterday do we want to still do those?
Yeah.
Do we have time?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, great.
You guys,
Right,
I mean, we can go as long as we want to go. So it's really up to everybody on YouTube but everyone's still around. So that's good.
All right, good. All right, so let me do this. Let's see. And this is, let's see.
Lisa,
okay.
Why don't we put Amy on the spot and make her do it? She'll never come back online with us again.
Amy's not digging that.
No, not digging that. That's a lot of work. Come on.
I
Amy
just was
wants
kidding
to
with
just
her.
be here.
Amy
Yeah,
and
all right.
I spent about 2 hours on the phone the other day talking through some stuff, and so we became friends.
So
That was
fun.
fun. That was
So much
fun.
fun.
All right. So now this is from a fun I think newer member, but I don't know if she's on today or not. Named Holly Berry. And so her question was she's trying to match a wood floor to this wood here on her sofa. Now, I'm going to also show you the space that this is going in. So this looks like she is in the middle of a massive renovation of some sort. And as you can see that there's little people helping. It looks like little people have been helping with the painting, which I know is always a mess, but they like painting. So that's kind of a thing. So it looks like you're replacing this floor, Holly. But what my question to you is, the sofa's probably going in this room. That's great. But what about the rest of the flooring for the rest of the house? Because I wouldn't necessarily pick a flooring color to exactly match the trim on the sofa unless that's a note that you can carry through to, like, your other rooms in the house, your dining room, and they may have other furnishing styles, those kinds of things. It's always better to make an original selection around your flooring that has the ability to be tied in with the other pieces of furnishings that go throughout the house. So I'm assuming this is maybe your living room. I see a piano here, so I'm not sure if that's a living room or not. And and I see baseboards torn up. So I'm not quite sure what's happening, but if you're doing a total house renovation, you definitely need to zip over and put something in a circle, because that might be, there might be a little bit better way we can kind of look at this as a comprehensive selection as opposed to it just matching the sofa. Now, it may be that everything that you're going to put into this space is going to be kind of contemporary and sort of tied in wood-wise with that sofa. And if that's the case, then you're not necessarily off. But the judgment call really does need to be, what are all the other spaces going to do flooring wise? If they are going to have this wood or they're going to have the same wood as this room, we need to kind of look at them as a whole and sort of look at the palette as a whole to make that choice. Because you had mentioned to me that if the trim of the sofa, so let me go back to this picture for a second. If the trim of the sofa, which is this lovely sort of curved line right there, excuse me, kind of a caramel color, looks a little different than the final wood that you choose. And both of these feel very yellow to me. So the color decisions you need to be making need to be made with your light pad that you need to get, so that the light pad is imperative because the colors need to reflect what's eventually going to be in the lighting conditions in the space. And, you know, right now, you have no idea what's going to be in that space. I don't know if these are new, and if they look like they're new because they're installed with wire coming out. So that looks like that's a new element. So that's thumbs up for you on that one. But you've got to select you've got to select an LED color that's going to work for your entire space. And then you relamp the entire space, and then you make decisions around these color matches based on the replication of that light with that pad. So you may end up feeling like you want to go to something much darker. I'm not sure, or lighter. These feel a little too yellow for me for an overall floor. It's not bad for the base of the sofa, but it might end up being a lot of kind of yellowy, golden oaky, and that can feel a little bit dated right now. Maybe you want to kind of soften this up a little bit. But you had mentioned something about the fact that another designer that you were listening to said that carpets can separate that. Yes, that's true. Carpets can separate it. So you do not have to look at this element as your main piece that you're looking at. You want to be looking at making the choice for the floor first, and then making the other selections to go around that. Because like I said, I see a whole number of options down here, and these might be the rule of three options, which I'm very proud if they are. But you want to kind of like work with them together first before you pick that floor. I hope that helps. Oh,
So what
because
do you
your
think,
floor
Amy?
is a big number, right?
Amy, what do you
Your
have
floor
to
is
say
a
about
big
that?
number.
Yeah. What does
I-
Amy have to say about that?
Well, I was a little embarrassed because I mean, I'm sitting next to all these experts. But
No.
I too thought it was a little, and I don't want to use the word matchy, but I thought the couch is such a pretty color that it might get kind of lost in the color of the flooring. I think the dark flooring that's in there looks pretty.
Yeah, this looks like some sort of carpet or some sort, and then I don't know what's happening here. This might be
maybe too
this
dark,
might be like
but-
an old floor. I'm not quite sure if she's here or you know, if that's an option or whatever, but I'm kind of curious about what that would be and kind of how we're covering that up. These do look like woods as opposed to LVPs. They look like a click down engineered, perhaps. Then the other thing that you always want to do, and this is a good tip for everybody who's making a choice around flooring, is you want to, before you commit, because flooring is such a big number, and so this is for you too, Amy, is you want to commit, you're committing such square footage and dollars to it that it is cheap insurance to go to the vendor and have them sell you a single carton. Having them sell you a single carton and sorry,
You
Dana,
said it
was
was
that?
cheap. You said it was
Yeah,
cheap
cheap
insurance.
insurance.
Yes, you want to say, okay, a single carton because it's 6 square feet, okay? And
Mhm.
when you're making a decision around something as important as your wood floor, you need a big layout of it. And what you do is you get those samples, and they tend to be like, the 48 by 12 or 7 or something like that. And you lay them down all there together. You get your little pad put together. You put them up against the rule of 3 samples that it looks like you've got on your wall. And that's when you make that final choice. So that is a super important thing. Where do we talk about doing that sampling, Meg?
We talk about that actually in our how to create or a DIY light box.
Yes.
Do you mean like, okay, so like, but as far as
Well-
like, actually purchasing, you're right, the cheap insurance is in our flooring fundamentals ebook. So absolutely read that.
Gaia,
it is.
can Gaia post that in chat, because that is super important to have things understand. It's just like what Jen was going through with, when you look at materials separately, they don't have any, you're not informed by how they are going to work together. And so it's kind of part of the cheap insurance and the job to sort of make sure that you're happy with the storyline they all create together. And the more samples you buy, I mean, literally, I just told someone in Inner Circle who's building out a shower that she literally she's buying a shower pan. And I said, go buy the shower pan. It's a $200 investment. Keep it, keep the receipt and everything. If it's not the right color white, you can't get that pan in any other color of white. It's the one color. So that's the material that you have to match your tile up to. You have to match your countertops up to, and you have to match your paint up to. Okay. So buy the thing and you'll own it if you are going to use it. Or if you can't buy the size you need, buy whatever, then just make sure you return it within the time frame and get the size ordered you need. But then you've used it as a real life sample. That is so crucial, because
Lisa?
stores lie because of their lighting.
Lisa? So
Yes.
I have another photo that I want to throw up, and maybe we can have Amy and Jonathan
Okay.
and all of us just
that's
chat about
fun.
that.
Oh my God, you guys are on hot seats
And-
today.
And I'm telling you, I don't
Can
think
I
you
can
know
I just
this.
point something out about Jan's space? Or sorry, that wasn't Jan's
Yeah.
space. That was
No, do
whose space was
Well,
that? Sorry. The most
Holly
recent
Berry.
What was Holly
Oh,
Berry?
yes.
That's right.
Holly.
Good memory. Nice.
Yeah, I think I just kind of hearkening back to what Lisa was saying in the kitchens video, actually, even though this isn't a kitchen, because you were saying things like the surfaces of your space tend to be major actors, and a lot of the accents tend to be supporting players and finishes. And if you have a large accent and you have a main sort of player, either floor, that are looking exactly the same, that kind of, it looks a little bit strange, because usually you can't match it perfectly. So it looks like it lacks that intentionality that good design usually has, when you have a little bit of interest and variation, but things still go together. So that would be my comment on that. I think having a little bit of difference would probably be good. And consistency, I agree with what you were saying, Lisa. And the other thing I was going to mention is just related to the comment about trims and molding. So maybe this is for Megan Moore. Demetra asked if we could add floor transitions into the molding and trims.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
I saw that, and I've got a note, so that's added to it. Because I'm like,
You're so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was like, floor transitions, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really, thank you for all of those suggestions, guys. Those are great. That is
Okay.
absolutely
Are
huge.
you ready for the next space? I think that Jonathan's gonna like this. I don't really know his style,
I'm
but I
excited
keep
for you
trying to
guys.
like.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Ooh.
I dig it. I like
Oh,
that.
wow.
I like that.
Wow.
Hey,
I
Is it
bet I
big
know
enough?
where it is.
Do you need me to make it larger, or are we good?
Wow.
You could.
Okay, let me see if I can make it any larger. There.
I
Yeah,
bet I know
Anyway.
where it
simple.
is.
That was the vibe I was going for too.
I love this space personally.
Mhm.
they nailed the outdoor living. That's for
Mhm.
sure.
Oh my God, did
Wow.
they? I wonder where this is.
I'll bet you money I know where it is.
And I
Sure.
love the pool detail. Do you see that, guys? Oh
The
my
what?
God. The pool.
Pool
the
detail.
pool
Oh,
Yes,
detail.
mhm.
yes.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
spectacular.
this. I
Yeah.
don't know what's
Yes, I
going
s-
on
I-
here, but that's this
I
thing.
did see
What
that.
what
Is that a
that?
walkway? Like, is there like pool on the other side and it's just like a
Oh, it's
walkway
probably
across?
clear glass and you can
Yes.
look straight
Oh.
through, I guess.
Yes. So
Nice.
there's probably, I'd be willing to bet that there's probably a whirlpool or a hot tub on the other side of that.
Ah,
And this is the crossway. I've done a couple of pools that are like this. And actually you can't do these in California. So that determines that it's definitely not probably Palm Springs. Unless they grandfathered it in.
Yeah,
It
and
kind of
good, yeah,
does
that's
look
right. Good
like-
eye, Cynthia. And there's the egg chair.
Yes, the egg
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah,
In
right.
what? The white. Yeah, the white.
That's
so
right,
that's
yep.
very good.
that's
Good.
an original, I'm sure. Yeah,
are we
love
talking
it.
about this one here?
that's right. Mhm.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Gosh, they
It's-
did such a good job with this space.
Yeah.
Now,
I
They
is
love
really
it.
did.
Is that is that rectangular area in the ceiling, is that a skylight or is that just open air?
Wow.
It's
think-
probably open
open
air
air.
because I'd be willing to bet that that sits over the bonsai, the big bonsai tree.
Yeah, I see
And
it.
then the table is forward, not underneath the hole. So yeah, because that's a garden segment right there. So whatever rain happens through that space,
Wow.
that space gets to. Yeah, yeah. I've seen that
If-
before. And yes,
That's
I saw
gorgeous.
somebody mention Eichler-esque. It is Eichler-esque because it's very mid-century. Eichler was one of the California guys. Eichler, Neutra, a couple of the architects that really kind of like pioneered some of these post and beam constructions, which is what this literally is. It's been expressed down to post and beam. Literally, that was what happened when they started doing that. Flat roofs always says relatively light amount of rain to me.
Yeah, this has got to be like Palm Springs. I mean, this is
I,
what it
well,
feels like.
I
to
would
me.
say Palm Springs or Arizona, perhaps,
I would guess
because
La Jolla.
oh, it's La Jolla, yeah.
I don't know, I'm guessing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, no,
And-
it feels
and
a
what they
little
did-
more deserty to me than La Jolla.
They dropped in heaters, right? Look at this.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that's
So
what
that
that
says
was.
desert too.
Right.
The
for
TV is
night.
not over the fireplace. They put a piece of
Mhm.
artwork over the fireplace.
Yes, they did a
And I
nice
love this
number there.
view in the back. It looks like they're on a
Mhm.
hill or something. It's gorgeous.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
love this kind of Andy Warhol-esque.
I would say
type,
Vegas, but to be honest, I don't see trees
too
like this
sophisticated
happening
for
in
Vegas.
Vegas.
No,
Yeah,
this isn't
yeah.
Vegas is
Vegas.
not
Mm.
Vegas.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you could take a screenshot and do a match in Google and see if it comes up.
Let me
and has
see if
some
I can
information.
find it.
Oh gosh, yes.
curious.
Okay, good.
Would you guys?
So,
So would you guys like to live in this place? What if? Give us a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. I mean, is this your type of thing? I would be 1. I love
Mhm.
this.
It's
It kind of
really
reminds me of a
beautiful, but
house I rented. What was that?
Oh, it's really beautiful, but I feel like it's really, I don't know if it has quite enough of the sort of, it's a very sort of relaxing, open air. I can go here to get rid of all of my troubles, but I probably wouldn't go here to feel that, you know, spark of joy, condo-esque kind of feeling when I walk in. Like it's definitely got a serene sort of feeling to it rather than I really love this. So I guess that's why I'm a little bit muted on it, because there's nothing wrong that I can see. But I've, of course, am always looking for that extra bit of zest or pepper to really make
Yeah.
it sing. So, and I appreciate the artwork. I think that's necessary. And I think they could have amped it up a little bit more for my taste, but I do agree that with the style of what they got going, it works really well.
I think I actually found the house and I found additional photos that I think you'll appreciate more so, Jonathan, because it is like a little more amped. By the way, the home is in Beverly Hills.
Oh my God, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
then
Here's
it's probably a Neutra.
Oh my God,
Oh.
beautiful.
Yes.
I love
Here's
that.
another shot there.
That's actually a really lovely home. Maybe it's not a Neutra.
You know what
You
I
know
like
what?
about that,
I gotta
Lisa?
tell you, I think this home has been redone because I think that was an earlier shot. For
Oh, it's
sure. This
gorgeous.
did not exist.
Yeah.
That
This
mosaic
has
is
been
gorgeous.
redone. This has been redone and it's
Can-
beautiful.
Can you
Well,
see? I can't see what we're looking at now, but
I love
oh,
that
here's the
We're
mosaic.
looking
Oh,
at-
wow, yeah.
the mosaic. Okay, wonderful. And then
Love
looks like
that.
they updated the this as well.
Yes, yes.
That's
Oh,
the
they
other side
definitely
there.
updated this. They enclosed
Yeah.
this in glass. They've wrapped more columns in
Yeah,
stone.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
definitely an
Yeah.
update. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they brought light into it with the little windowy things on the top.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Oh
do-
no, absolutely.
I
Beautiful
do think it's a
home.
little bit
Beautiful home.
fuzzy and textural for my taste, and I don't like the center coffee tables at all. I think they're the worst. But I do like the
The
tiny
worst,
little red.
Jonathan, the worst.
the which one?
worst?
Oh,
The
These
little
ones?
red ones are so intriguing. I've never seen a
they
surface
look like
that before.
candy.
They
That's
do
what it
look
reminds
like
me of.
candy.
Uh-huh,
Yes, they're
uh-huh.
plexi.
Yeah,
They're colored plexi
They're like
with
a
metal
lozenge on
bases.
toothpicks.
Yes,
They
those are
echo
very
the
fun.
painting. They echo that
So-
painting.
Yeah, the
They
painting
do.
is lovely.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
The
the
painting is
painting is
terrific.
lovely.
Mhm.
And this is kind of that S curve sofa that's very
Love that.
de rigueur right now. And then you
Mhm.
have kind of a Noguchi right
Mhm.
here. So not it is
Lisa?
kind of Noguchi. Yes.
Can I ask you about that sofa, the curved sofa? You talked about that in like deco, I think, in those days.
Uh-huh.
Where's that come from?
Oh,
The sofas,
this
the
sofa. Well, okay, so these two sofas, right? Because they're paired, right? And they're paired opposite each other. They're the same. They're basically sofa chaises. And these are contemporary. Excuse me. Again, they could probably be somebody German or European for sure. B&B Italia or Rochefoucauld, possibly. They might even be American. I mean, right now, CB2, it depends on how long this has been out, but CB2 is definitely doing some things like that, or they could be custom. But the reality of it is what they're doing is they're taking the curvatures that we had during the Deco period were more what's called uniform as opposed to organic. We didn't start graduating into organic curves, which is what these two represent, until kind of mid-century. And so then you have things like this coffee table, which has curves to it as well as some angles. But the sofas in effect are kind of that mid-century modern marries the 70s interpretation of curved pieces for seating and things that don't really say deco. They actually say kind of later periods. So deco was when you first were able to bend things, and so they had a lot of like turned arms and uniformed curves. But the minute you get into organic, it's later. First dibs.
Found it.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Okay.
a
Yeah. Vladimir
Kagan.
Kagan, Serpentine Cloud. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a very nice piece.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very, very nice pieces. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So don't know when he was doing it. It could have been anywhere from late 60s
That-
through to
I like the neutral tone on tone white color, not white, but beige.
that story.
Yeah, yeah.
That story, I like that. And then it accents with the colorful stuff.
The pops.
That's a
Yeah.
lot my,
That
that's very
story
much my
acts
style
as
statement.
the gallery, right? Whenever you make a choice like that, that's the gallery. And then you should likely accompany it with important artwork or colorful artwork or statement artwork of some sort. It doesn't necessarily even have to be colored, but it is that envelope that says we are not the statement. Whatever is going to be added on top of this will be the focal point and the statement for it. But it still, makes everything kind of like move along and function the way we got it. So now I still have one more Q&A believe it or not, that
Okay, but
that if
okay,
we can do
so
this.
so let's go to 12 noon our time. So that gives us
Okay.
about 5 or 6 minutes to do this next one, and then we can.
Well, this is kind of a quickie, to be
Okay.
honest, because she's asking a very specific question. Excuse me. So, of course, you guys know I'm never quick. So, you know, it's
You're
a little bit
thorough.
like
You're thorough.
thorough.
Mhm.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. Okay, so this was sent over. She's a member of the club, and she posted in the thing, and I posted in the clubhouse, and I think it's a bigger deal than we're thinking, which is that she has in her home a load bearing wall, which I'm going to assume is this here. Okay. I'm hoping that's what she's talking about, or I'm not sure if she's talking about this one or not. But here's the deal. And she's wanting to remove it to open it up so she can get something that somebody on Fiverr showed her would be like the idea of a renovation of the room with no break in it. As many of us have situations where, you know, we're kind of stuck with these tighter rooms that maybe don't flow quite as well, that kind of thing. Here's the problem, Teresa, is that I'm not sure which of these two walls is load bearing.
Both. She says, and sorry, they both are. She said in chat, both of them.
Oh, they both
load-bearing.
are. Okay. So not only will you absolutely need a structural engineer, this cannot be done by an architect. Okay. But many architects have structural guys that will help them put together the calculations for what's going to need to happen. Because if they're both, because this is why I know what's happening here. If they are both load bearing, this guy and this one, okay, what you have is you have a pierced opening right across here in a load bearing wall. So that tells me that up above here, you have a massive header sistered into the rest of this beam that's allowing this opening to happen. Now, this sister head or this sister beam has to come down like this and hit there below the floor. There will be foundational structure that's supporting the weight of this up above, because I'm assuming with this staircase, you have the second floor, and that's why this is load bearing. So
That's right.
not impossible, not necessarily simple. Okay. So but not necessarily overtly expensive either. So I don't want to discourage you from pursuing this, but the whole idea there is that you definitely have to get the right people on board. And that will be either a local architect or someone who knows your municipality really well, and then get together with them and say, I want to punch into a space in my space that has a load bearing wall. They will then be able to do the calculations for you and say, yes, you can probably open this up to here, and you might be able to take this back to here. All right. And then you might also be able to open this up. I'm not sure where you're located, but you might be able to get all of this as an opening. Ooh, and you might be able to pop it up to another big header up above there. So you might be able to get that opened up, but you are going to need support columns because you have to hold that second floor up. So somewhere along the line, they're going to have to play with those support columns. So it's really good to get somebody on board who is a structure guy who can make those quick calculations for you and say, yes, I can give you a 10-foot opening here, and I can open this back up to, you know, a 12-foot or an 8-foot, or depending on what dead load is being carried up above. So I don't know if it's 2 stories or 3. If it's 3, it's going to be more expensive. That's for sure.
Well, because the weight that is bearing gets more intense.
Exactly.
It needs more structure to be able to carry that.
That's right. That's right. And I have done this a ton of times in my career. So it is not a slam the door. It's not worth it. It's worth it to get make the investment to understand if this is a house that you're going to be in for a while, to understand, what that would cost you. I can tell you, I've done it where it's $1,200. I can also tell you that I've done it where it was 10. So it just depends upon how much calc they have to do to carry the deads plus the live load and where you're wanting to place the openings. So that's really kind of the thing. So get yourself a good, somebody who's good. You can also call your municipality and say, I'd like to do this. Do you have somebody that you can recommend if you don't know anybody in the area? So get somebody there and then ask him if he has a structural guy that can come out and take a look at it, because they're going to have to go underneath the floor, the flooring through the crawl space and take a look at what kind of footings you're dealing with. Because they will definitely have to beef them up for sure. And
guys, I was going to say, and this is the type of stuff that we work through in Inner Circle. This is exactly the kind of projects we do.
Yes.
Just wanted to show you that this would be what we would work through and actually walk them through the entire process.
This means nothing to me. This is just a rendering, right? And I understand that it's helpful to understand maybe how the space could be opened up, which is great. But until you've spoken to a structural, this is just a fantasy. Nobody knows whether or not you can open this up like this. And it's not likely that it will be completely barrier free, depending upon how your second story joists run and where your foundation supports are underneath the first floor. So This is a nice idea. And I understand it might be what you want to be shooting for. And you can certainly say, this is what I would love. This would be my wish list. How can we kind of like do that? Okay. From here. So I hope that helps. And yes, Dana's right. This is definitely an Inner Circle option.
And she actually says she's planning on not only talking to an engineer, but she's also going to join the Inner Circle. So there is more to come.
More to come. Yay! Well, that'll be fun.
You know what? How much more relaxed will she feel?
Oh my gosh,
guys! From that,
it's a good
right?
move, Sarisha. Yeah, absolutely.
Amy,
absolutely.
you can attest to that, right?
Oh yes. And it looks like she's a busy mom too. So definitely Inner Circle
I saw
support.
that. I saw that. There's a lot going on in that picture that isn't even asked about.
Right. Bless her heart. Yes.
That's right. So Sarisa, you need our help, and we are here for you, baby. If you need it, we're here.
I want to say thank you, Jonathan, so much for coming on with us. It was
my pleasure.
We were all so excited. We were hoping you would come on. And Amy, what a surprise. She is delightful. And did you guys like us bringing some folks in from the design club and things like that on? Did you enjoy that? Because if you did, we can do that more often and have some guest panelists show up and just put their two cents in and actually jump in there. And Demetria, you want to come on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she's so
but
helpful.
you guys are brave to do this. It's not really that easy. I remember the first time I was ever on camera, I hated myself.
It is. Yeah.
Oh my God. No,
it's
you know what? It's a little scary because you get put on the spot a little bit. But you two have been in club for a while, so you are OGs.
Yeah, they are OGs.
We know the drill.
The drill. Anyway, so listen, guys, we're pretty close to the end of today's Q&A. But remember, if you want to come back on, and so if you're in the design club, there's an email that I don't want to put it out to the public, but there's a specific email that we use. Posted in Zoom.
In
Zoom, and you can use that email to ask questions. And we kind of we get so many questions, we have to narrow it down a little bit. So make sure you post your questions there, and we'll put that in chat in a minute. And if you ever want to come on camera, this is kind of how we're going to do it from now on a little bit. And we'll get more organized as time goes on. We actually are really enjoying this format.
Never. Don't.
No, never more organized. We just keep adding more and more things to our plate, and we keep becoming beginners all over again. Like, well, let's try this, and then we do that. And let's try this. But anyway,
That
Megan,
is true.
any final words you want to say?
Oh, final words. I would say this is such a pleasure to meet you guys.
Yes.
And we look forward to meeting more of our members in the future. And also, guys, don't forget that we have our masterclass this Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and it's all about tile secrets. So Lisa's going to cover
Tile
our
secrets.
latest ebook that's all
Ooh.
about tile. So if you have a tile project, do not miss it.
That's a do not miss. That is
Yeah.
like not optional. Okay. Because I mean, you can miss it in the live form, but you're definitely going to have to watch it if you have any kind of tile project, because I am going to give you every pro secret that you have not ever had anybody tell you. Okay.
Now, Lisa,
yes.
I think we need to end.
Oh,
by you,
okay. Can I say one more
anointing.
thing?
Wait, no, but well, say it, but you need to anoint Jonathan and Amy, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
Wink, wink,
yes.
wink. And right in front of
Oh
you,
my
on
gosh.
the, in front of you,
Oh, do I get a
in front of
magic
you,
spell?
in front of you, Lisa, underneath the computer. It's underneath her computer. It's in front of you. It's directly in front of you.
Oh,
Right
there.
Thank you for whatever person did that. All right,
Oh my
so
God.
the design fairy godmother anoints Jonathan and Amy. Ah!
Thank you. Oh,
Yay!
feels so special.
Very
As our
Official.
original OGs that came on our first, not only are you club OGs, but you are now Q&A OG. I love it.
And thank
That's
you to
so awesome.
Squally.
Yes,
'cause
thank
she
you.
was, she was on chat holding that down, and thank you, Gaia, for holding chat down. So we had the whole team was here today practically.
Yes. And I just want to say one more thank you to everybody who contributed to One Tree Planted,
Yes,
because
thank you,
that
guys.
is just, it's so lovely, and it so makes me cry. Honestly, I'm not saying that lightly. It is important. And I really loved that you guys cared and shared. It made a huge difference to me.
And if you guys want us to do a little fundraiser after a few of these things, not that we're going to bombard everybody with that. We don't want that to be the case, but maybe once a month we'll do something and see if we can raise money for people that need it.
Yes. Yes. So
There's
yay.
a lot of people that need it. So
Yay. Good. Yes, there's a
All
lot
right,
of need
guys.
out there. There's a lot of
it's
need.
12 o'clock, so we're going to turn to a pumpkin. So I think we're ready to say goodbye.
We
So
have an inner
bye,
circle
everybody.
class that we have
That's
to
right.
get
You're gonna-
started
yeah,
on.
that's 1 hour.
Yep.
So want to say goodbye, Megan? Bye.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye,
Jonathan.
Next
guys.
time.
Amy.
Bye,
Thanks for the
guys.
opportunity to be on the show.
Oh,
Yay,
you're
we
welcome.
love it.
Oh, we love it.